Anyway, let's see.
Transportation systems, private transportation carriers, any operator of a public system, and operator of a private carrier, and or hire vehicles must wear a mask at all times. What does this mean? If you get on the bus, you need to wear a mask. If you get in a train, you need to wear a mask. If you get into a private bus, the operator needs to wear a mask.
Good morning, Kathy. I realize I still have the governor on the TV in the other room. I'll be right back. Good morning. How are you? How's life in Kentucky? Reminds me, there's a great song that Rosemary Clooney sings. They're rolling up the sidewalks in Milwaukee, and I figure, what the hell? You can eat in your motel, or you can order up room service on the phone, and you sit and watch the local news and dine alone. You gotta get what little pleasures you can find when you've got sweet Kentucky ham on your mind. On your mind, nothing but sweet Kentucky ham on your mind. Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Sale. Happy anniversary, Sale. Happy anniversary to Jody. Is this your Jump in the Broom anniversary or your meeting anniversary? I think it's the Jump in the Broom anniversary. So I have in my little pot over here, I've got some onions that I let get started already. I just grated 2 or 3 fat cloves of garlic into it. And now I'm going to grate what I've got left of my ginger. Today is sweet potato ginger soup that I've been thinking about for days. And so I had some beautiful sweet potatoes, and I just happened to have pulled up the very first recipe that I found. And I had all the ingredients, so that's what we're doing. So onion, garlic, and ginger, sweet potatoes, vegetable stock, salt, pepper, and coconut milk. This did call for coconut oil to start the onions in. I did not have coconut oil, so you know what we're doing in Privation Kitchen? We use what we have and we don't bitch about it, right guys? So, frankly, this is hard, and I've realized that I have to figure out a better way. I need like an island here so I can stand here and do things or figure something out. So I'm going to work on that so you don't have to listen to me. Aw, Pierre Peters is my favorite. And congratulations on the Jump in the Broom. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to grate closer to you so I can see you a little better than grating right into the pot. And I'm going to figure out a way to create an island for myself today. I may have a few extra pieces of stray wood sitting around my tiny little apartment that can be pressed into service. There might even be one laying real nearby. So how is everybody today? Things in New York evidently are continuing to improve. The numbers of infection and hospitalizations continue to go down, hooray. But with every little bit of good news is another piece of sobering news. And so they're not going to open the beaches here this year, it doesn't seem like. The pools for sure, beaches are iffy. So when I tell people who are like, oh, we're going to open the economy by Easter, or we're going to open the economy the 1st of May, if they're not opening the beaches, people ain't coming out of the houses. Put on your big girl panties, guys. It's going to be a bumpy ride. So anyway, I just have this going in here. I'm going to give this, so now I have my ginger, my garlic, and my onions all in here. And I'm just going to kind of let it, just everything get warm. Because here in a couple of seconds, I'm going to pull up my recipe. Because I did have the good sense to do that. Good morning, Brian, and good morning, Denise. And, hang on, my fingers are so wet. I don't like that. That's a failing. But let's turn some music on. Come on. There we go. Excellent. One of my favorite singers. So let's see. I'm looking for, nope, pictures. Here's where I hid that. And here's my recipe right here. So, 2 tablespoons of oil, half an onion diced, 2 garlic cloves, 2 tablespoons of fresh grated ginger, a half teaspoon of salt, and a half teaspoon of pepper. Let's go and put those in there. So I'm trying to play the music quietly so that I don't get dinged by the people at YouTube and Facebook for playing music that is not my own. But in the background I have playing Anita O'Day, who I think is absolutely stellar. On YouTube you'll find a bit of her at Newport Jazz about 56, 58, wearing a black and white dress and a hat. She's freaking fierce, and it is absolutely delightful to see all of Newport sitting out in the Adirondack chairs on the hillside listening to the jazz festival. So here we go. How many people out there watched their first episode or 2 of Mrs. America last night? I did. So let's see. Next, we got some salt and pepper in there. And then I need my sweet potatoes. I've already cut up and cubed, peeled and cubed. And I got 4 cups of sweet potatoes going right there. And then it wants how much? 2 cups of vegetable stock. I happen to be lucky and I picked up another container of this fabulous hearty vegetable stock from Trader Joe's that just is so beautiful. I mean, just, is that 2 cups? Yeah. So just look at the color of that. That looks great, right? Nothing better than a really, you know, I would love to make stock all day, but again, in 50 square feet, there's not a lot of that going on. I always sometimes find that before I get enough scraps in the scrap bowl, that I don't have, I can already smell the scraps in the scrap bowl, right? Nobody needs that, not in a tiny house. So anyway, what's next? We're going to put in, it calls also for, let's see, cook for 5 minutes. Yeah, okay. And now we have to cook these for a little while. And then the next thing we have to do I have any more here? So then we're going to, the other thing it calls for is a can of coconut milk, but I don't have all of the explanation here on this snapshot that I took. So anyway, I am going to cover these guys here, make sure that all my potatoes are here in the covered by water, and I'm going to crank this baby up. That's the beauty of cooking with gas, hence the phrase, cooking with gas. So let me see, what else are we going to learn about this? Here it is, right here. Let's see. So after we're going to boil these up and they get sweet, they want me to use my immersion blender, and you know how happy that makes me. And then we're going to pour it back in the pot. Oh, yes, and then we're going to blend in the coconut milk then after all of this veg is cooked. And that sounds actually wonderful. And it says this is such a funny thing. I've never seen this in my life. Serve with a drizzle of coconut milk and a sprinkle of green onions and hemp hearts. I don't know that I've seen hemp hearts in any store. Am I the only one? Hello, Ollie. And Kathy. Hello. And hello, Michael. And hello, Tony. And yeah, right. See, people just want their boat docks out on the lake. And I keep saying, I told my my friends' kids the first week that they shut New York down, which was what, is this week 4? I think it is. To just pray that we would all get to go to Montauk in August. And I really think that that is probably maybe a stretch. So now I'm really happy that I still have a reservation in Hilton Head in the fall. Because baby will go crazy if she doesn't see the ocean all summer long. So anyway, we've got this going. I've got a little spare knob of ginger over here. I'm going to toss away my waste. And, you know, what do we got to do today, guys? It's a beautiful day. I'm thrilled. So I'm very happy that I can, hopefully after I get this going, I will run out and take a nice little walk this morning, afternoon. I have started, though, teaching, pardon the loud water, teaching a little culture class at 1:30 in the afternoon for my niece and nephew. It's, I think I don't know if most families are, but the only people that I've heard, kids in primary school who have a fully fleshed out day, 8:30 to 3:30, are kids in private schools. So most families I'm hearing, their school is kind of going away about noon, 1 o'clock. And then what do you do with your kids? If you're two parents at home trying to work and you've got kids who are younger than teenagers, they need to be entertained. They need to have something to do. They need to have a purpose. So I'm trying to give them a little purpose. So I figure that art history and classical music are not the kinds of things that they're likely to get, at least in the immediate future. So that is something I can do. Pay for that expensive college education, right? Give it back. Give it back to another generation. So anyway, who else has come here? Hello, Scotty. Yay, I'm glad it's a beautiful day. Hello, Gracie. Hello to everybody in Stanford, Chicken Bristle, Danville, and environs. I hope you're all staying home, staying safe. I know that there's a lot of people who might be encouraging you that this is overkill. I'm right here in New York, and I promise you it's not overkill. Don't you think that a little bit of sacrifice, something that our grandparents' generation raised us on, the idea of sacrifice. So a little bit of sacrifice so that we only have 100,000 dead instead of 1 million dead. Because don't you know that if you make the other choice and there are hundreds of thousands, millions dead, that's a stain on your soul. And I don't believe that any of us believe that we would deserve to be forgiven that. So think about the end repercussions. You always have to think about what the end is. You can't just say, oh, I think I'm doing the right thing. This is the right thing for now. That's not the way ethics work. You have to make the hard choices because what's right is right. So do what's right. Stay home. Take care. Show that you love your fellow man by staying home and trying your best not to kill them. Thank you. Rant over. My potatoes are boiling, and I'm going to take a look at them. Hopefully, those sweet potatoes will sweeten up and soften up pretty quickly. And, oh yeah, that is exactly what you want to see. Oh, and all of my onions and ginger bits are all floating to the top, so it's all going through nicely. Excellent. Oh, the smell of the ginger is so good. Of course, I went a little heavy-handed on the ginger because, I got a ginger problem. So, anyway, I'm going to make a little tweak right here. Sorry. Let's see if that's a little better. Do I have fewer shadows or more? I'm not sure. You guys are sweet. So, a little chilly. It's a little chilly here, but I like a little chilly because I can have the windows open. It's the only chance, people who don't live in New York, I don't know if this happens anywhere else in the world because where else have I lived in my life? If you don't live in a converted building, updated building, a newer building, nobody has central air, nobody has central heat, and most buildings control your heating entirely. So right behind my camera, there's a steam pipe, and just on the other side of that wall, there is a radiator. There's another tiny radiator under the sink in my bathroom. That's it for heating for me. So the heat either is coming up or there's none. And this time of year, this is usually my happiest day of the spring because April 15th is the last day that buildings are required by law to bring up the heat. Now, they can, if it's a really cold day, they might choose to. If there's a lot of old ladies who bitch about how cold it is, pardon my language. But I look forward to this day because that means that I can start to set up my windowsill garden. Things are all over the place here in my house right now because I can't set up that windowsill until I feel confident that the heat's not going to come up at 4 o'clock in the morning and kill all my plants. So that's my story, Morning Glories. Let me see if I can get up here where I can see. So hello, Missy. And you guys, so tell me what's going on in your lives. What are you guys doing? I'm just listening to the roiling of my pot and thinking about my sweet potatoes breaking down. I might even think about getting my immersion blender out. Excuse me, here, I'll take you with me. Here we go. So little things that I keep hidden far away. So I'm gonna pop right up here. And this is one of those things you really have to be very careful about, because if you fell, there'd be nobody to hear you scream. There are so few people, relatively speaking, in New York. When you look out the windows at night, I have directly across from me the south-facing view of a building that I can see, because I know the layout of the building intimately. I can see the windows of two-bedroom apartments and a one-bedroom apartment on each. So I should be able to see in the 20 stories, not fully 60 apartments, but let's call it 45. There are 8 that have had their lights on for the last month. There's 2 buildings adjacent that haven't had any lights on for a month. So there's so few people here that it's almost a little freaky. Hello, Liz. Hey, Liz, I'm going to wear what you got me yesterday, and I'm going to send you another order later in the afternoon. Great. Hello, Agri. Hello, Dean. How are you? Dean, how are things on the Upper West Side? You guys hanging in there? And let's see. I'm going to take my pointy knife and see how my potatoes are softening. I had a glove. Oh, here we go. I put it back. Who knew? It's not like me. Okay, they are not soft enough. And I know that I'm not supposed to tweak recipes that I haven't made before, but I think I gotta. I think this is gonna need a little bit more liquid. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give it to them. Yeah, that's better. Now my potatoes are really covered. There's maybe an extra quarter cup. As measurements go. So it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Hello, Jeannie Gale. And none of your knives are pointy? Well, sweetheart, we can fix that. There's a little, do you have a sharpening steel or anything that you can rub it against? You could probably fix your knives. Your head is pointy. Maybe that would help. So anyway, that's really about all that's going on with the soup today. And the more that the sun shines, the more excited I think I am to go outside and take a walkabout. Let me see if there's anybody out. Nobody. Not a human in any direction. So while it's daylight and a little windy and bright, I think it's still a little chilly outside, but I think it would be a really good thing to go out. I don't think I've been out of my building maybe since Sunday. That's probably not good for me. So I probably should get out of the house. So let's see. My stair challenge is going okay, but I realized that the idea of climbing a mountain a week was a little, I'd kind of maybe done my math a little too, maybe I was a little too goal oriented. How about that? So yeah, it's a lot of work if you think about the fact, it seems like, once an hour I'll take the elevator downstairs and I'll take the stairs back up. That's a lot of work to do, and that's really what it kind of would take to do 4,000, 5,000, 7,000 feet a week. And so I've just started saying, you know what, I'll walk the stairs when I can and kind of keep track of it. And so I'm kind of on track to do a 5,000 feet up, straight up about every 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. So at least I'm not, turning into a big pile of goo. That's my biggest goal. Don't turn into a pile of goo. Let's see. how my potatoes are back to boiling, and I'm just going to give them a pierce because, oh, they're softening. Oh, they're softening. That's going to happen. Hello, Kelly. Hello, Mike. Hello, anybody else? Yes. So there are a lot of Coopers here, and I don't have any idea which of us are actually related to each other or if we are. But there is, the story as I understand it is if that you are a Cooper from Kentucky, that we are all descended, have a common descendant named Henry Cooper, who comes from Wayne County, like back before the Civil War, maybe right after the Revolutionary War. So if you're kin to Henry Cooper, you're kin to me. And I welcome new cousins with open arms. So I'm very excited that this is starting to soften up, but I'm just going to be patient and let it do. Let it boil, let it keep boiling. I hope everybody out there has, since it seems like we've got a lot of great weather here on the East Coast, let's all get outside and get some sun, vitamin D in the rods and cones of your eyes. That's really good. Mike, I'm excited to know that we're related. Hooray, hooray. You know, I've got a lot of cousins who look just like you. So I've always figured that we must be somewhere down the line. I just have a big dose of, I have a Swedish great-grandmother, so that's why I don't look like any other Cooper you've ever seen. Let's see, what else? So yeah, everybody get out. If there's sunshine where you are and it's safe and you can socially distance, get outside, get some sun in your eyes, get some sun on your skin, I think even. I realize I'm getting a little sallow, and that's not saying a lot, but I probably would do good with a little bit. And, you know, getting the joints of your body all stretched out is a good thing too, right? So do the things that you need to do to take care of you. And if you have somebody that you can do something thoughtful for, maybe leave a little bowl of soup on somebody's doorstep if you're making something, would be a nice thing. I did find in my freezer a little Trader Joe's baguette that probably has seen better days. So I'm going to see what I can do about it. Maybe I'll make a toast point for my soup, or maybe I'll have to make breadcrumbs, in which case I'll have to figure out something to do to use the breadcrumbs. All right, so we'll see what happens with that. I was hoping that as it thawed out, it would get softer, and maybe it just hasn't had enough time out, but we'll see. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. How's the potato doing? All right, almost, but I'm not going to go there yet, because, you know, you want the better cooked. When you're going to puree something, you just really can't overcook it. You know, it might as well be mashed potatoes in liquid before you actually mash the potatoes. So I don't know if this is any fun for you, like watching a pot boil, right? But maybe what we can do is move around a little bit. See, the light is terrible here. Let me try this. Do you mind? It'd be so much easier. Maybe it's the sunlight. Maybe the first few weeks there was no sunlight. This is better. Oh, damn sunlight. There you go. You like this better? Yes, no, maybe. I just know that I almost blinded y'all one day, and I don't ever want to have to do that to you again. So anyway, I have really nothing left to do except fix this soup. And I think today, after I have my walk, I'm going to come back and I'm going to clean up my windowsill over the radiator and do the paint, touch up paint for there. So that all sounds good. Miss Vicki, hello. How are you? Hope all is well out there on the other side of the river. And you guys, all I've got to do is burr a little soup, set it off the heat, and I'll come back and have some later. So you guys all do something nice for yourself, do something nice for other people if you have the opportunity or the means, and take care, be safe, keep your distance. Love you all. Thanks for stopping by. I so totally appreciate it. Nice. Oh gosh. Oh, how funny. How long you had 2-year-old Trader Joe baguettes. Hang on, Mike. I gotta see more. Oh, there you go. A little olive oil. That sounds fantastic. I'll do it. We'll fix these baguettes and I'll report back sometime a little later. So I've got about an hour until my culture class with the Mini Coopers starts. So I'm going to finish this up, clean up, maybe have another cup of coffee this morning. So you guys all have a great day. Thank you all. I'll see you again here tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Love ya.